Welcome you all. I'm Dr.P.Nithiya, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Botany in Sita Lakshmi Ramaswamy College, Tiruchirappalli. Today I'm going to discuss about RH factor. In this, I'm going to discuss about the introduction, types of blood, RH factor and genetics, prevention from risk, and summary and conclusion. So these are the content which I'm going to discuss in this video. Now let's see the introduction about RH factor. RH factor, the rhesus factor, that is an important protein may be present on the surface of the red blood cells. So the RBC contain RH antigen, they are called as RH positive. If their blood cells does not have any antigen, that is RH negative. It is important to know a person RH factor to ensure that they receive compatible blood. Now let's see the types of blood. There are different blood types are there. The blood typing is a system of classifying blood based on the antigen present on or missing from the surface of RBCs. This approach to grouping bloods can prevent the severe complications that can occur from interaction between two different incompatible blood types. Different types of bloods are there. A positive, A negative, B positive, B negative, O positive, O negative, AB negative, AB positive. Identification of RH positive and RH negative people. The positive or negative sign next to the blood group, that is ABO grouping, refers to the RH status of the person, while being RH positive is very common. Being RH negative does not indicate illness, and it does not usually affect a person's health. However, it can influence their compatibility with the other blood type. It can affect the type of the blood that while they can receive. So rare blood group, they're based on the RH factor. The people can also use the ABO system to determine the blood type. However, there are 30 known blood groups comprises more than 600 antigenic structure, meaning some people may have rare blood group. And why? That RH blood group was discovered by Landsteiner and Weiner in 1945. They gave this name only because of this rhesus monkey, this antigen first discovered in this rhesus monkey. That's why this name is called as rhesus antigen. The RH antigen is otherwise called as rhesus antigen. The rhesus antigen is also called as RH factor. The RH negative person does not contain any D antigen actually. So the RH antigen has no natural antibody. However, the RH antibody can be produced artificially. When the person, RH negative person, receives a very small quantity of blood, that is a small quantity like a 0.05 ml, that can be evoke the production of RH antibody in the RH negative person. The antibody, once formed, it remains in the blood throughout the life. So the RH negative person should not get any blood from RH positive person. The diversity of the people in the it is based on the overseas. The European country, 85% of the human being are RH positive, and the remaining 15% are RH negative. In India, 93% people are RH positive and 7% are RH negative people. China, 99.5% are RH positive and only 0.5% are RH negative. There are several varieties of RH antigen and of antibody. The commonest RH antigen is RH antigen D. It is commonly called it as anti-D. Now let's see the relationship between the genetics and RH factor. There are the genes which is involved in the RH factor production. The production of antigen is controlled by multiple alleles. The antigen D is produced by the dominant gene represented by R. When this gene is recessive, it cannot produce any antigen. Hence, the Rh positive person may be homozygous dominant, like that is capital R, and the heterozygous capital R smaller. The Rh negative person are always homozygous recessive, smaller. The Rh factor follows the Mendelian principles of inheritance. Now you can see the parent blood type, that Rh positive father and Rh negative mother. The Rh positive father, he has homozygous dominant gene, that is capital R, and the homozygous negative mother who contain smaller gene. So the capital R from this father, the gamete is produced, the capital R gamete is produced, and from the negative mother, she will produce a smaller gamete. So the offspring, the combination of capital R and smaller, the offspring which will, that is a Rh positive baby. The blood type of the children can be easily visualized by knowing the blood type of the parent. Now let's see the theories behind the Rh factor. There are two views regarding the genes of Rh blood group. They are as follows. One is Wiener's theory and the second one is the Fisher's theory. Now let's see the Wiener's theory. He is a Wiener, Alexander Solomon Wiener. The Wiener proposed that Rh blood group is controlled by 8 different multiple alleles. Of this, small r controls the Rh negative blood and the remaining genes control only Rh positive blood. This hypothesis, the Rh negative people, they controlled by, they may have only smaller gene. Now let's see that Rh positive people, they may carry different types of genes like the RO, R2, R2, RY, RO, RI, RX, and capital RO, small r, and capital RI, small r, and capital RI, capital RY. These are the different types of genes which represent only for Rh positive people. Now let's see the Rh negative person. They carry only one gene, that is smaller. Now let's see the Fisher's theory. The Fisher proposed that 3 genes are involved in the production of Rh antigen, and these 3 genes are lying so close together on the chromosome that they act as one gene. Genes are known as pseudo-alleles. He proposed symbols for the 3 dominant genes as C, D, E, capital C, capital D, capital E. And the recessive allele are small c, small d, small e. Rh negative person should have the genotype of only small letters like that is small c, d, small c, small d, small e, and small c, small d, small e. The one set is come from the father and the set is come from the mother. The Rh positive person, if any one of the dominant gene is present in the person, will be only Rh positive. So the different genotype of the Rh positive person are as follows. These are the different combinations of CDE genes, any different types of genotypes which represent only for Rh positive person. The negative person only contain, they have only small letters of CDE and CDE. The Rh factor and pregnancy. So we should know why we are studying this Rh factor. The rhesus isoimmunization occurs when the mother blood type is Rh negative, and she may carry fetus blood type that is Rh positive, that is inherited from father. The placenta normally acts as a barrier. The blood never enter into the maternal circulation. When that during the late pregnancy, the following potentially sensitizing event, but particularly during the time of birth, the separation of placenta, the small amount of fetal blood can be entered into the maternal circulation. So this is called as this. The factor is called as fetal maternal hemorrhage. So when she received this small quantity of blood from the fetus, the mother immune system immediately respond and it produces an antibody. Okay, so the immune response to the fetal Rh positive cells in her system and produce Rhd antibodies. This process is called as isoimmunization. And this is also known as sensitization. And once sensitization occurs, it cannot be reversed. Rhesus factor compatibility. Here you can see there is conflict. That is a positive and negative blood sign. So the woman carries negative blood type and the male or father carries positive blood sign. The risk factor is 50%. How to prevent from risk? The prevention is better than cure. So Rh immune globulin is a medication that stops our body from making Rh antibodies. It's only helpful if our body has not already made Rh antibodies. We can receive it as a shot, like an injection. And Rh immunoglobulin shots are usually very successful in treating Rh incompatibility during the pregnancy. Detecting Rh incompatibility in the early pregnancy time is the best way to prevent the mother and the fetus from serious complications. The Rh factor is important in blood donation and transfusion. We can prevent the people from hemolytic transfusion reaction, which can cause serious complications. Now let's see the summary. The Rh factor is an antigen that some people may have on their blood cells. Those who have this antigen are Rh positive people, while those who does not have any antigen in their bloodstream, they can call it as Rh negative. Knowing a person's Rh status is very important and it is key to understanding their blood compatibility. Now I'm come to the conclusion. This is a monoclonal antibody that is an anti-D. This compatibility is particularly important during the pregnancy and when we receiving a blood transfusion. So in the present event, incompatible blood, the body will respond by producing antibody against the Rh antigen. These antibodies will destroy the red blood cells with the Rh antigen, so which can cause severe health complication. Now let's see the summary. The Rh factor is an antigen that some people may have on their blood cells. Those who have this antigen are Rh positive people, while those who does not have any antigen in their bloodstream, they can call it as Rh negative. Knowing a person's Rh status is very important and it is key to understanding their blood compatibility. Now I'm come to the conclusion. This is a monoclonal antibody that is an anti-D. This compatibility is particularly important during the pregnancy and when we receiving a blood transfusion. So in the present event, incompatible blood, the body will respond by producing antibody against the Rh antigen. These antibodies will destroy the red blood cells with the Rh antigen, so which can cause severe health complication. Be cautious when we receiving blood from other person. So this is my conclusion. Prevention is better than cure. So be cautious when we receiving that blood from other person. Thank you once again.